Hello viewers, we were studying the chapter NMR spectroscopy, in particular proton NMR spectroscopy. In the previous session, we studied the most important part in the NMR spectroscopy, that is the chemical shift and nuclear shielding. So before going further, let me summarize in brief regarding the chemical shift and nuclear shielding. We have studied that in the presence of external magnetic field, the proton pulses, and the frequency at which the proton pulses is called precessional frequency or Larmor frequency. The precessional frequency of a proton is directly proportional to the strength of the applied magnetic field B naught. The The precessional frequency of a proton increases with the increase in the strength of the applied magnetic field. However, the precessional frequencies of all the protons in a same molecule in a same external magnetic field will not be same. Each of the protons will have slightly different precessional frequency, since each of the proton will be having slightly different chemical environment. This chemical environment is referred to as the electron density around the proton. So we have also studied that protons are surrounded by electrons, which is the basic concept of atomic structure. So in the presence of external magnetic field, the electrons surrounding the proton start to circulate. Since electrons are negatively charged, we know that any charged particle under motion generates electric field as well as magnetic field. Likewise, the circulation of electrons around the proton also generates a local diamagnetic current, which in turn produces a magnetic field. This magnetic field opposes the external magnetic field. The magnetic field, which is produced by the circulation of electrons around the proton, will oppose the external magnetic field. Hence, the proton is said to be shielded from the external magnetic field. And the amount of shielding of a proton depends upon the electron density surrounding the proton. Greater the electron density around the proton, greater will be the shielding effect from the external magnetic field. That proton is said to be shielded from the external magnetic field, since the magnetic moment which is produced by the circulation of electrons opposes the external magnetic field, as a result of which the proton is said to be shielded. So in a organic molecule, each set of protons will have different chemical environment. This chemical environment, as I said you earlier, is referred to the electron density around the proton. So in a organic molecule, each protons will be having different electron densities around them. Since the protons in a molecule have different, slightly different electron densities, they are shielded in a slightly different manner. Because of this, each proton will experience a slightly different magnetic field. Since each proton experiences a slightly different magnetic field, each proton will process at slightly different precessional frequency. Because of this difference in the precessional frequency, each proton will absorb at different radio frequency, as a result of which we can get the number of different types of hydrogens present in an organic molecule. So this is a very important concept in the part of NMR spectroscopy. So the details of chemical shift we shall study in detail in the later sessions. So in this session, we shall study regarding the NMR spectrum. So how the NMR of a molecule is recorded, and how we will get the result in the NMR spectroscopy. So for that, we have to study a chemical compound which is used as an internal standard while recording NMR spectrum, while recording proton NMR spectrum. That chemical compound which is used as internal standard is called TMS. TMS means tetramethylsilane. The internal standard used is TMS, and the abbreviation of TMS is tetramethylsilane. So we know that in a molecule, each proton has a different resonating frequency because each proton has a different chemical environment, that is, each proton has different electron densities. Because of this difference in the electron densities, each proton has different amount of electron shielding. Because of this difference in the electron shielding, each proton will have different positional frequency. However, these differences in resonance are very small. So if we compare the positional frequencies of the protons in a molecule, it is very small. So for example, the difference between the resonance frequencies of the protons in chloromethane, that is CH3Cl, and those in fluoromethane, CH3F, is only 72 Hz, when the applied field is 141 Tesla and the radiation used to induce spin transition is of 60 megahertz. So the positional frequencies, or else the resonance frequencies between these two molecules, that is chloromethane and fluoromethane, is only of 72 Hz, which makes a chemist to differentiate between these two molecules. So the difference between chloromethane and fluoromethane represents a change in frequency of only slight more than 1 part per million. So there is only very small difference between the resonance frequencies of the protons in chloromethane and fluoromethane. It is only slightly more than 1 part per million. So if we record the NMR spectrum in 60 megahertz, 1 ppm for 60 megahertz is 60 million hertz. 2 parts per million for 60 megahertz is 120 million hertz. If you take 3 ppm, ppm means part per million. So 1 ppm for 60 megahertz is 60 million hertz. 2 parts per million for 60 hertz is 120 million hertz. 3 ppm for 60 hertz is 180 million hertz. 4 ppm for 60 Hz is 240 million Hz, likewise. So if I take 100 megahertz, for 100 megahertz, 1 ppm is 100 million Hz. 2 ppm is 200 million Hz. Likewise, if I take 300 megahertz, 1 ppm for 300 megahertz, 300 million Hz. 2 ppm for 300 megahertz is 600 million Hz. Likewise, so we will write this million hertz as part per million. 1 part means like this. You have to write 2 ppm means, so depending upon the frequency it is written. So yeah, the resonance frequencies of the protons of these two molecules is very small. So it is very difficult to measure exact frequencies to that precision, so which makes very difficult in order to measure the resonance frequencies of all the protons. Hence no attempt is made to measure the exact resonance frequency of any proton. So instead what we shall do is, we shall take a reference compound and the resonance frequency of each proton in a molecule is measured relate to the resonance of the protons of the reference compound. So what uh, we can do is, instead of measuring the exact frequencies of the protons, we will take a reference compound and we will measure the difference between the resonance frequencies of this reference compound and the compound whose NMR spectrum is to be recorded. So we will measure the difference between the resonance frequencies between the reference compound and the compound under examination. In other words, we will measure the frequency difference between the reference compound and the compound whose NMR spectrum is to be recorded. So the standard reference compound that is used universally is tetramethylsilane, that is CH4 also called TMS. So this the reference compound which we are going to use in order to measure the uh, frequency difference between the standard compound and the compound under examination. The standard reference compound used is tetramethylsilane, TMS, CS3,4Si. So it is universally used, means if you record proton NMR in uh, in whole world, the standard reference compound used is tetramethylsilane. So anywhere in this world you can record the proton NMR of any compound. The standard reference compound used universally is TMS, that is tetramethylsilane. Thus, when an organic compound is measured, the resonances of its protons are reported in terms of how far they are shifted from those of TMS. Yes. So what is the use of this internal standard? So by using this internal standard, that is tetramethylsilane, we will measure how far the resonance frequency of the protons of the compound which is under examination is shifted from the resonance frequencies of tetramethylsilane. So we will measure how far the protons of the compound under examination is shifted from the resonance frequencies of the protons of TMS. So this is the structure of TMS, SiCS3,4 tetramethylsilane. So what are the advantages of using TMS? These are the 4 advantages. So the advantage of TMS as an internal standard reference compound, it is called standard reference compound or else internal standard reference compound. The protons of TMS are more shielded. The protons of TMS are more shielded. This we shall study in detail when we study chemical shift. So just you remember that the protons of tetramethylsilane are more shielded. So here you can see there are totally 12 protons and these protons are highly shielded. TMS gives an intense sharp signal even at low concentrations. Since it is having 12 protons, we can use this TMS in very low concentrations, and since it has 12 protons, it gives a very intense sharp signal. It is chemically inert and has low boiling point, so that it is easily removed from the recoverable sample. So it is chemically inert, means it will not react with any organic compound under examination, and it is also has low boiling point. So sometimes there are the products which are very expensive and which involve high cost for the synthesis. So under such condition, by the use of TMS, we can again recover the sample. Since it has low boiling, it can be easily evaporated from the sample, and it is soluble in most organic solvents. That is very important. It is soluble in most organic solvents. So here what you have to remember is the international standard reference compound for recording NMR spectrum, either it may be proton or else C13. The universally used standard reference compound is tetramethylsilane, that is TMS. and by using TMS, we will measure the frequency difference between the protons of the compound under examination and the protons in TMS. That is, how far the resonance frequency of the protons of the compound is shifted from the resonance frequency of the protons of TMS. Yes, the shift from TMS for a given proton depends on the strength of the applied magnetic field. So the shift of the protons of the compound depends on the strength of the applied magnetic field. So the shift of the protons from TMS for a given proton depends on the strength of the applied magnetic field. So in an applied magnetic field of 1.41 Tesla, the resonance of a proton is approximately 60 megahertz. Whereas in an applied field of 2.35 Tesla, the resonance appears at approximately 100 megahertz. So since there is difference in the resonance frequencies at different magnetic field, it will create confusion for the workers trying to compare data if they have spectrometers that differ in the strength of the applied magnetic field. So spectrometers are nothing but which are used to record NMR of the organic molecules. So there are different NMR spectrometers, so which are dependent on their magnetic field. So or else the operating frequency. So this is called the operating frequency. There are NMR spectrometer which uses 60 megahertz radio frequency. There are NMR spectrometer which uses 100 megahertz, and there are also NMR spectrometer which uses 300 megahertz. If the NMR spectrometer uses 600 megahertz, for that they have to use 1.41 Tesla magnetic field. So if the instrument works on 100 megahertz, they have to use 2.35 Tesla magnetic field. So we know that the precessional frequency of the protons depend on the strength of the magnetic field. So if I record the NMR spectrum of the organic compound in 60 megahertz NMR spectrometer, the precessional frequency will be different if I record the same molecule in 100 megahertz NMR spectrometer. So for both these, so in both of these instruments I will get different resonating frequencies for a same molecule, which create confusion for the workers in order to compare the data. So to overcome by a new parameter, to overcome this, they have found a new parameter which is independent of the field strength, that is B naught. So they have overcome a new parameter which is independent of the magnetic field. So it is determined by dividing the shift in hertz of a given proton by the frequency in megahertz of the spectrometer with which the shift value was obtained. So what they will do is, in order to get the same value for two different NMR spectrometers operating at a different magnetic field strengths, so they have obtained a new parameter which is independent of the strength of the applied magnetic field. What they will do is, they will take shift in hertz and they will divide this shift in hertz by the spectrometer frequency in megahertz. So in this manner the field independent measure called chemical shift is obtained, which is denoted using the symbol delta. So here we can define chemical shift now. So the chemical shift in delta units, so now we call it as delta units. Now onwards we will not use the precessional frequency of the proton, because we know that the precessional frequency of the proton is solely dependent on the strength of the applied magnetic field. So if there are two NMR spectrometers which work on two different magnetic fields, for a same organic molecule you will get two different resonance frequencies in these two different NMR spectrometer. So to overcome this, we are going to use a new parameter called delta unit. So this is delta, or else part per million. We can use either delta or part per million. So the chemical shift in delta units is the amount by which a proton resonance is shifted from TMS in parts per million of the spectrometer's basic operating frequency. So it is very simple definition. The meaning of this is how far the resonance uh, of a proton is shifted from TMS, which is expressed in terms of parts per million. So the definition of chemical shift is nothing but chemical shift is the shift of the resonance of the protons from TMS in terms of parts per million, as simple as this. So we have to remember this formula. This delta is obtained by dividing shift in hertz by spectrometer frequency in megahertz. So this is the spectrometer frequency, 60 megahertz and 100 megahertz, likewise 300 megahertz, 400 megahertz, 600 megahertz. What you have to do is you have to take the shift in hertz in respective NMR spectrometer, and we have to divide this by the spectrometer frequency in megahertz. So this could be understood when I take an example. So here you can see, so values of delta for a given proton are always same irrespective of whether the measurements was made at 60 megahertz or at 100 megahertz. The main interesting thing of expressing the shift of resonance of protons from TMS in delta units is whether if I record the NMR of the organic molecule in 60 megahertz NMR spectrometer or else in 100 megahertz spectrometers, which are having different magnetic field strengths, I will get the same result. So you can see, take for example, at 60 megahertz the shift of the protons in methyl bromide is 162 hertz from TMS, while at 100 megahertz the shift in 270 is 270 megahertz. So here you can see, so if I record the NMR spectrum of methyl bromide using 60 megahertz NMR spectrometer, the shift of protons I will found at 162 hertz from TMS. So if I record the same methyl bromide in 100 megahertz NMR spectrometer, which is having 2.35 Tesla magnetic field, I will see the shift of the protons uh, uh, at 270 megahertz from TMS. So here we got two different results in two different NMR spectrometers, so which create problematic. So to overcome this, we are going to use a new parameter called delta unit. However, both of these correspond to same value of delta, that is 2.70 ppm. This is obtained by the previous formula, that is delta is equal to shift in hertz, which is divided by spectrometer expressed in uh, spectrometer frequency in megahertz. So for a 60 megahertz, the shift of the protons in methyl bromide is 162 hertz from TMS. So 162 hertz divided by 60 megahertz will get 2.70 ppm. For 100 megahertz, the shift of protons of methyl bromide is 270 hertz from TMS. So this is divided by spectrometer operating frequency, that is 100 megahertz. So you will get 2.70 ppm. So the main advantage of delta units is whether you can whether you record the NMR spectrum of any molecule in two different NMR spectrometers having different magnetic field strength, the value will be same, that is the shift of the protons from TMS will be same regardless the spectrometer frequency or the magnetic field used to record the NMR spectrum of the organic molecule. So most of the workers report chemical shift in delta units or parts per million, both are same. of the main spectrometer frequency. On this scale, the resonance of the proton in TMS comes exactly at 0.0 ppm. So we have used the standard reference compound TMS, and which is set to be as 0.00 ppm. The NMR spectrometer actually scans from higher delta values to lower ones. So this figure represents a typical NMR spectrum, and this is the direction of scan. And the NMR spectrum of the proton NMR spectrum is of range starting from 0 to 12, and at 0 we will set the TMS, that is the line which is at 0 ppm. It is the resonance of the protons present in the TMS. So from this we will measure how far the protons of the organic molecule are shifted from the TMS. So so these are nothing but 1 to 12 are the delta values. So in this example you can see we can easily differentiate between the precessional frequencies and the delta units. So this is the NMR spectrum of ethanol, that is CS3CS2OH. So this is the precessional frequencies of the three sets of protons in the ethanol, which is recorded at 60 megahertz NMR spectrometer, which has a magnetic phase strength of 1.41 Tesla. So the CS3 proton has 74.4 hertz, and the methylene proton is 156 hertz. The OH proton is 156 hertz, and the methylene protons is at 225 hertz. This means the methyl protons are shifted from TMS at 74.7 hertz. Means the difference between the resonance of the protons of TMS and these methyl protons is of 74.4 hertz. In simple words, the protons of methyl group produces 74.4 greater than the protons of the TMS. Likewise, the OH proton will process at 156 Hz more than the precessional frequencies of the TMS. The protons of methylene group processes at 225 Hz more than the precessional frequency of the TMS. Means how far the precessional frequency of the protons is shifted from the TMS. However, the precessional frequency, we know that it is dependent on the strength of the magnetic field. So in this table you can see, so if the magnetic field is 1.4 Tesla, we know that in order to undergo resonance we have to make use of 60 megahertz radio frequency. So these are the protons present in the ethanol CS3 CS2OH. So under 1.41 Tesla magnetic field strength, the precessional frequency of this the shift of protons from TMS is of 74.4, 156, 225. If I record the NMR of ethanol in 2.35 field strength magnetic field, which has the spectrometer operating frequency 100, the shift will change. 124 for methyl group, methyl protons will have 260 hertz, and OH proton will have 375 hertz. So these are the shifts of the resonating frequencies from TMS. So if I require the same ethanol molecule using 7.05 Tesla magnetic field, which has the operating frequency at 400 megahertz. So these are the shift of the resonating frequencies from TMS. So here you can see, as the magnetic field changes, the shift from TMS of the protons also changes, which makes difficulty in order to compare the data between the NMR spectrum, which are recorded in two different NMR spectrometers. However, this could be overcome by using delta units. So if I take 60 megahertz, the shift of CS3 protons is of 74.4 hertz. So if I divide the shift by the spectrometer operating frequency, I will get delta unit 1.24. So also for 100 megahertz, the shift for 100 megahertz is 124, which is divided by spectrometer operating frequency. I will get the same delta units. So this is same for these two protons, that is OH and CS2. So here you can see, so for different magnetic field strengths, we will get same delta units for these protons, which is independent of the magnetic field and also spectrometer operating frequency. So this is the typical NMR spectrum, which is in which the shift of the resonance from TMS is expressed in terms of delta or parts per million. So for CS3 it is 1.24 with 1.24. The TMS is set for 0, and the shift of the resonance of protons from TMS is as follows. For the methyl protons is at 1.24, the OH proton is at 2.60, and the methylene protons is at 3.75. So the main thing you have to remember in this is delta unit is independent of the strength of the applied field, whereas if we express the shift in precessional frequency, it is dependent on the magnetic field, which creates confusion while comparing the data between the NMR spectrum recorded in two different NMR spectrometers. However, the chemical shift in delta units is independent of the spectrometer operating frequency. In turn, it is independent of the strength of the applied field. So in whatever NMR spectrometer you record the NMR spectrum, the delta units remains the same. So which makes very easy in comparison between the two NMR spectrum which are recorded using two different NMR spectrometer, wherein we will get the same delta units for the NMR spectrum which are recorded in two different NMR spectrometers. So this is regarding the internal standard reference component, that is TMS, and the NMR spectrum, which is expressed in terms of delta units.